Black is an artist I started listening to through the Spider Gang Is Over album. He kind of took me by surprise when listening to it, but specific songs made me want to find more of his music, like You Are So Fucking Stupid, Shut Up, and Mahatma Gandhi. If you've seen anything from him before, you can probably imagine how he sounds on this album, and honestly, all these songs do his sound justice. When becoming an artist, I imagine you have to settle on a sound that becomes your brand. And in my opinion, Black picked a sound that works so well with his voice that it's hard for it to get old. Here's a little history on him. He's a part of Cult International, the collective that turned into an image that Brumman God started. They've got a few songs still up on the SoundCloud, but it's been silent for years. And that's because it's not really an active collective or anything. As far as I'm aware, it's a nod towards their roots as artists and how far they've come. He also self-produces a lot of songs, which I had no idea about until making this video, with some of my favorite songs from him being self-produced, which I think is really impressive because rapping and producing are two very different skills that are difficult in their own way. Another piece of lore about Black is that he used to be called Blacklist, and he got his name now from typing randomly in SoundCloud, which I thought was interesting. A lot of inspiration for lyrics in his music comes from his upbringing. He says he went through a lot of mental health problems like depression and anxiety, and you can tell how much it's affected him because he mentions it a lot in his songs. Overall, music seems to have been an outlet for him to express himself, just like a lot of other artists. He's made over 360 songs in total and 8 albums. His 2022 album, 80 Proof, being his best in my opinion. It encapsulates his sound so well in a beautiful lineup of tracks. Skotsker and Black himself worked on producing it, and if you're listening to him for the first time, you should definitely start with this album. The album starts off running with Cheap, Anthem, and Skeleton. Cheap is a great intro with the 2 features on the album following it up. It kind of sets the tone on how the album is gonna be. Watch yourself, I've been through it one time. Did I run into a full battle 2 nights? Could it be like me if you tried 3 lives? Anthem is probably one of the songs I'd show a new listener. Black's classic ad-libs never get old, and honestly, it's such a good hype-up song. Brumman God is the feature on it, and he's perfect for the song. Skeleton is a similar song to Anthem. It's a great hype-up song, and it makes it better that it's got the vibe of 2 friends going back and forth. I keep mentioning the producing, but I love the beats on here. It's such an interesting listen to me. Telling everybody about it, I don't blame her. She don't know a thing about me now, I ain't the same. Yeah. Cut the check. Cut the check, motherfucker, cut the check. I've been killing shit since I was 17 on this man. I'm not gonna go through the entire album because I want you to listen to it yourself, but I'll mention a couple more songs that are notable. I Should Have Been in Brockhampton is a song seemingly about aspirations in his life and how it's changed over time. He's mentioned the fact that he wanted to be in bands a lot, and I found Brockhampton is an old band I assume he was a fan of. The song is a good look into his mental state at the time of writing, and I think it's how he's looking back in time. I've been in and out of different pieces, I was thinking that pick a different day, I'm sticking with the standards. What you think I'm picking when it come to making purchases? Recovery is an absolutely beautiful song. It's definitely my favorite on the album. It's got these upbeat distorted bells that sound almost ethereal. His lyrics and the name of the song suggest a recovery from a drinking problem that brings an additional layer of emotion. Throughout the song, he says you like he's directing his lyrics at somebody, but when researching this video, I found that he's actually referencing himself, which makes a lot of sense because he's talking about a struggle with addiction on top of the opportunity being a successful rapper brings. This is another one I highly suggest checking out yourself. Yeah. Said, did you ever really find the one you fucking with? You put that business to the side, that's what you running with. Cause you was falling back that shit, you wasn't stumbling. And all of a sudden what you working on was fun again. But shit was different cause you really still recovering. Something funny is that in the middle of writing this video, his album Act 1 got taken down from YouTube Music. It's probably gonna get fixed soon, but I think it's funny that the same thing happened when making my last video about Brumman God. Most of his music just got taken down, and now the same thing is happening with Black. But that's what I get for using YouTube Music. Anyway, the song I wanted to talk about from the album that got taken down was called I Wanna Shoot My Friends. The title and the lyrics are pretty funny considering he obviously likes his friends and became successful with them. In an interview with Cult Classic, Black talks about this song. He talks about how this song is something he came to dislike. He mentions the fact that it was a song made for shock value, and he said he feels he should delete it. Now, it's been a year since this interview happened, but since the album is gone as of writing the script, I assume he finally went through with deleting it, which I think is kind of sad not only for my playlist, but as the host of Cult Classic says, you never know if someone's gonna resonate with how you feel when you made that song. And and I couldn't agree more. Cause while this song isn't my favorite song from him, it was one of the reasons why I kept listening. It showed me an aspect of his sound that resonated with me as I was listening. It's probably a mistake though, so I hope he puts it back up again at some point, even if that takes a while. Cause it's a good song, even with the friend murder.
I told Keith saw that thinking when he made my fucking beats. I told Darky when I see you, I'm gon' phase you on that heat. I told her to go to get my fucking drugs so I can sleep. I told all my homies smoke me while I pass out while I sleep.
Black has a lot of songs with great names. A good one is I Can Catch a Bullet with My Front Teeth. I've been listening to this song a lot when walking places, and I feel like it's perfect for that.
I only make something die quicker, yeah. Couldn't follow me cause my blood thicker, yeah. Fuck everybody, I'm fucking bitter, yeah. I'm not finished, bitch, I'm a fucking sinner.
My favorite name though is probably Every Rapper on Earth Could Die Right Now and Nothing Would Change.
Hey, what's the what? What's this bitch got something out? I'm thinking about burning this fucking bar. I told my sense I'm ready out. I forgot to give a fuck.
Also, I almost forgot, I'm gonna put this here at the end of the video. The song I Don't Know by Lil Darky with Black is like one of my favorite songs. It's so good. They work together so well in this song, and it's so much different than anything I've heard from them before. Man, it's just such a good song. Alright, if I haven't convinced you to listen to Black yet, then I'm probably never going to. Here are my recommendations for you to start with if you're new. Also, I keep covering Spider Gang members, and I also want to mention their contributions to the Spider Gang album, but I think I'm gonna wait to make a standalone video on that, because Black actually pops off on that shit. It's definitely the reason I tried listening to him in the first place. If you want to talk about anything I said in the video, or suggest an artist to listen to, drop a comment.